Hey guys, let's get more news from Dallas Cowboys, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Mike Zimmer refutes one narrative about him. The Dallas Cowboys continue to be one of the most highly discussed teams in the NFL. They are still dubbed America's team, which might be seen as a good thing, but with their recent shortcomings in the playoffs, they might not necessarily want the additional eyes on them. Mike Zimmer was recently signed as the team's newest defensive coordinator after Dan Quinn left his post to take a job with the Washington Commanders. Zimmer has plenty of NFL experience, and while he has had some success, there are some rumors about him that he would like to dispel. These rumors began even before the conversation started about him joining the Cowboys coaching staff. In a recent press conference, Zimmer said, "There's a reputation out there that I'm a jerk or something like that." While he did say it didn't bother him, Zimmer also felt the need to back up this statement later on in the press conference. He talked about former players reaching out to him and congratulating him on the new position, saying, "I think if I was a jerk, I wouldn't be hearing from those guys." Regardless of what former colleagues and players think of him, Zimmer is now on the Cowboys staff. He will have a lot of eyes on him early in his tenure with the team, and it remains to be seen if he'll be able to rise to the occasion. The Cowboys do have some great pieces on defense, and Zimmer will be walking into a positive situation, roster-wise. Mike Zimmer was introduced as the new defensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys under head coach Mike McCarthy in a press conference on Wednesday, and he addressed the narrative that he is a jerk that has been prevalent going back to his days as a head coach with the Minnesota Vikings. "There's a reputation out there that I'm a jerk or something like that," Mike Zimmer said, via Todd Archer of ESPN. "It is what it is, I guess. But since it was announced I was going to be here, I've heard from so many players that played for me. Players here, not just defensive backs, the linebackers and defensive linemen have texted me and said how happy they were for me. I think if I was such a jerk I wouldn't be hearing from those guys." Mike McCarthy explains why he picked Mike Zimmer. The Dallas Cowboys had a thorough search to find their next defensive coordinator. While it took a few weeks, they have finally found a coach they are thrilled to welcome. Dallas has officially hired Mike Zimmer to be their next DC. Zimmer is a longtime NFL coach that we most recently saw as the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings. Finding a former head coach was something the Cowboys wanted in their DC. Zimmer should help change the culture of the defense and make them more disciplined than in the recent past. According to RJ Ochoa, Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy said the following about Zimmer: "I've always had such great respect for Mike. I just think it's an incredible fit for us." Zimmer and McCarthy used to coach against each other in the NFC North, so they are familiar with each other and their coaching styles. Also, this is not the first time Zimmer has coached the Cowboys. He was their DC from 2000 to 2006. Zimmer understands what it takes to coach in Dallas and the expectations that come along with it. The Cowboys' defense failed them against good offenses in 2023. Teams like the Buffalo Bills, San Francisco 49ers, and Green Bay Packers picked the defense apart. The playoff loss to Green Bay was the final straw for many Cowboys fans. Having a new DC in the building may not be a bad thing for Dallas. Dan Quinn's tenure has run its course, and now it is time to see what a new coach can do. Zimmer joins Mike McCarthy's staff in the final year of the head coach's contract. He is replacing Dan Quinn, who left for the Washington Commanders' head coaching job. Dan Quinn had a positive impact with the Cowboys over the last few years, but the performance in the wild card game against the Green Bay Packers this season left a bad taste in many fans' mouths. The hope is that Zimmer can have the unit prepared to perform in big spots like that one. It will be interesting to see how Zimmer fares with the Cowboys in 2024, and the results could determine McCarthy's long-term future with the franchise, especially when it comes to playoff results. Cowboys predicted to sign Super Bowl champ to $13 million deal. The Dallas Cowboys could target a Super Bowl champion in free agency. As written by CBS Sports' Cody Benjamin, he projects the Cowboys to sign Kansas City Chiefs linebacker Willie Gay Jr. to a 2-year, $13 million deal. Gay has served as a starting linebacker since entering the league in 2020 as a second-round draft pick and has now won back-to-back championships as the starting weak-side linebacker for the Chiefs. A regular in the Chiefs' linebacker corps for 4 years, Gay has now been a part of 2 title-winning defenses in KC, even though his numbers have never been gaudy, writes Benjamin. He'll probably be among the most affordable of their homegrown free agents on this side of the ball, but even then, re-signing Drew Tranquill or leaning on Nick Bolton is probably more likely. Gay is certainly an unheralded member of Kansas City's defense, despite being a key player on the unit. The 4-year linebacker racked up 88 tackles during the 2022 season, ranking 3rd on the team. While Gay didn't have an amazing 2023 season, he posted 58 tackles. He remains a steady presence. According to Pro Football Focus, Gay posted grades of at least 66.5 during his first 3 seasons in the league. He ranked 20th among all players at his position during the 2021 season and 32nd during the 2022 season. Across his 4 seasons, Gay has started 47 of his 57 appearances with 233 tackles, 5 sacks and 4 interceptions. Perhaps most importantly, Gay likely won't cost a lot of money to sign. Spotrac projects his market value to be just $7 million per year across 4 seasons as a total of slightly more than $28.2 million. Considering the Cowboys have a projected salary cap space of $14 million in the negatives, 26th in the league, and when factoring in that Dallas would like to sign Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb to contract extensions, they'd love to sign Gay to a $7 million per year deal. The Cowboys will likely have an opening at weak side linebacker with Leighton Vander Esch facing a potentially career-ending injury. The former Pro Bowler has had an extreme history of neck injuries, and he suffered another season-ending one after playing in just 5 games during the 2023 season. Vander Esch has suffered neck/collarbone injuries in 3 of his 6 seasons in the NFL and also suffered one as a sophomore during his collegiate career at Boise State. Team owner Jerry Jones commented on Vander Esch's latest neck injury back in November. "He's an integral part of that defense out there," Jones said on 105.3 The Fan. "We just wish him well, and just the nature of his potential injury here causes me to really think longer term and beyond what that means for next week or beyond what it means for next month. It has everything to do with what's in his best interest." Gay has now played on a defense that just ranked 2nd in the NFL in points allowed per game, 17.3 points, and now has 10 games of postseason experience under his belt. For perspective, the Cowboys' starting linebackers at the end of the 2023 season, Micah Parsons, Damone Clark and Marquise Bell, have a combined 10 games of postseason experience among them. Signing Gay may not be a flashy move, but it could pay dividends when the Cowboys make their postseason run. And you fan, what do you think of the Willie Gay situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.